Hello YouTubers, this is the Scribe and thank you for watching this YouTube video. Just let me slurp some black wine. Lovely. Okay. Have you ever heard the term metamorphosis? And I call it a term, it's actually a word, but it's also loosely a term because it has much more meaning than you might imagine. So, metamorphosis is kind of a magical term because what it means is to change from one thing to another. Okay? At a very basic level, what you're doing is you are manifesting a new reality for yourself or a new reality for the world, etc. And how's this done? We'll give you an example so you would understand it a bit more if you haven't come across this kind of concept, and I don't think many people have, to be honest with you. So a caterpillar, and then, oh, by the way, this will be very useful in your day-to-day lives and to actually improve it. So it's also something I'm using at the moment as well. So a caterpillar is a creature. Okay, I think you all know that. And what does it do? And its vulnerabilities. All it does is sit around eating greens all day. So it just goes around crawling about and being very discreet and very silent. It barely moves and it's vulnerable to every single thing that passes it. I think even slugs can kill it. Right? So anything that passes it can actually prey on it because it's vulnerable. However, they do have a few defenses, and one of the defenses is they have hair on their backs, and some of them are actually poisonous, which is interesting, but that's the exception to the rule. And others have they're able to blend into the environment, and some can blend into any environment they're in. So, because most of them are green and on green leaves, it's very difficult for predators to actually identify them. Now, that's a good thing, but it's also not a great thing because it's not 100% proof. I mean, most predators, even birds, they'll be able to see them anyway. But anyway, most of them do survive. Well, I say most of them very loosely there. Some of them survive, okay? And because of this, what they do is because they're so weak and vulnerable, and they're not suited to this world as much, because they're even vulnerable to, falling off trees and drowning, etc. So because of that, what they tend to do is they begin to change. And how do they change? Well, think of yourself when you go through a tough time. You close yourself off from the rest of the world. That's the first thing that happens. The caterpillar closes itself off. Then what happens? Within that sphere of closing itself off, that cocoon, that cyst, whatever you want to call it, right? They begin to develop within the dark, right? So nothing can see what's going on behind that shield it's put up against itself. And that's what people do in general when they go through a tough time or a hard time. They put up a shield, right? And then they begin to change within that shield. And the caterpillar changes entirely. It changes everything. It goes, I've barely been able to move, so it creates wings. It's now able to fly. All I'm doing is, I don't have anything going for me. I just look like everything around me. So what does it do? It creates tremendous amounts of art on its body. So its wings are designed with beautiful blue stripes, even like lion skins and zebra skins and stuff like that. And also I've seen one with owl eyes. I mean, they're amazing creatures by the designs. So it becomes very creative with what it has to show. And this is something that's been very similar to everything around it. It's just copied everything else, but now it's becoming a master of creativity. Now, this is where I'm at the moment, and I think you guys too could find this useful. People have asked me online about people like Andrew Tate, right? And I'm going to give you my opinion in this video of why he might not be too great for most people coming from a background of working class, and why going for money itself, although you should if you can do it, is not the be all and end all. It doesn't always work. The thing is, his focus is just on money. Right? On the most part, it's money and maybe a bit of fighting skills. But he's not developed past fighting and money. He's not really developed anywhere past that. Only, some kind of, don't say the, women chasing and stuff like that. So after that, he stopped. His progression of adaptation to this world and change has stopped. It's stunted, right? Although he has been trying to make a voice for himself, but when somebody has lots of money, they can do that. Now, where we come from, the average Joes and stuff like that, people like that, we come from a background where we may have not had as much as now, or as much going for us, or we may have had harder lives, and we're not able to throw money at everything, right? So how do we actually deal and navigate this world if you haven't got all the money to throw at things, and you're not able to just spend your way out of trouble? Well, manifestation and metamorphosis. So they do teach us a little bit, going to the gym, etc. And that's one thing you should do, right? If you're a man or woman, you should go to the gym and exercise. You should also go out and exercise, and then you should try to, like the caterpillar. Think of yourself like the caterpillar now, right? You want to turn into the most creative version of yourself, not a new version of yourself or the strongest version of yourself. You want to become a creative force of your imagination, and take your new idea of who you want to be and what you want to be, and bring it into fruition. That's what the butterfly does. And we see, there's certain people get very close to what they want to achieve. Now, if you listen to me sometimes online, I would, be against the movement of, I don't really want to name them because it comes across as if I'm being nasty. It's not that. The agendas surrounding transsexuals, right, is very, very bad, but most of them are not bad. So some of these transsexuals do get very, very close, right, to what they want to achieve, but they're not angry. They're trying to metamorphosis themselves from one thing to another. And if you think of something like Blair White, I mean, you look at the person and you think that's a woman, and you just can't believe it used to be a man, right? It's actually, he said or she said, right, whatever it is. I can look at that and say he, even though it is a he. I thought it was a she, right? It's that good. Now, what I'm saying is, this person has metamorphosed themselves into what they wanted to be, right? So things are possible, but at the moment, it's not possible for a man to become a woman. It's not truly possible for that metamorphosis to actually work, but they're getting very, very close. However, as I would actually mention, it doesn't feel right to me, but they are. I would also be a hypocrite if I said that metamorphosis into anything isn't possible. It is, but sometimes it's not what you think. So you couldn't become a butterfly if you wanted to be, but you could be something else. I mean, you could be an ideal version of yourself that you've always wanted to be. So you can become, um, as they say, a beautiful version of yourself. I would say a creative version of yourself. So you could look like a woman, right? If that's all what you wanted to be, or it may even be possible, if you really knew what you were doing, to create wings on yourself, right, and fly, actual connected to your spinal cords and everything, and fly. It's a possibility with the right science. Of course, this is very, very difficult to achieve, and people trying at the moment will probably cause themselves more damage than good. As I say, everything's possible with metamorphosis. Everything is on the table and possible, and you have to take that as a good thing, because you can use that in your own life. If you look at these people who have almost achieved what they wanted to achieve, like Blair White, who is actually looking like a woman. That's exactly what this person wants to do. I mean, they haven't had, she hasn't had, she, whoever, hasn't had surgery to remove the organ that a man has, to make it look like what they would call vagina. But on the outside and everywhere else, looks like a woman. I have to be honest. That is metamorphosis at its height. Right. So I'm not actually saying I like transsexuals or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm straight, but what I'm saying is everything is possible if you put your mind to it. So here's the thing: metamorphosis can also work in the environment you're in. So you can metamorphose the environment. You can change everything around yourself, everything within yourself, and just change who you are. And just imagine who do you really want to be? What exactly do you want to be? I mean, for instance, me, I want to get into shape, which I'm working on. I want to start eating better, which I'm working on. I'm changing my environment. I'm changing where I live and how I'm actually living there. And I'm changing in many ways how I actually interact with people, because I've always thought, maybe I'm being a bit of a dickhead now and again. But every time I have an idea, I think that's, it could be a good video for some people to watch. So here's the basics, right? Metamorphosis. You can't metamorphose properly if you're not healthy and happy. Well, you could, I suppose. I mean, if you're healthy and happy, you can also get unhealthy and unhappy. So that would actually be a metamorphosis, but it's in the negative direction. You want to bring it in the positive direction. So to become, they say, the strongest version of yourself, which is actually a good thing, but they're wrong. It's not the best version of yourself. It's what you want to be. Right? You want to be the Joker, you be the Joker. You want to be a hero, think of it as a personality archetype. Right? So you want to be the Jack of Spades or something, whatever you want to be, aim for it and think how you can actually do that. And you've got to do it on a day-to-day basis, and eventually you will change yourself and the environments around you. So anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. I'll probably go make a series of videos on this, because it's a deep topic. It's very difficult to actually think of it off the fly in a video. But there's a lot to go through. It's not at all simple. But the first thing you guys should work on is your health and fitness, right? And after that, you just make little changes around yourself. You clean up what you need to clean up. You do some painting in your flats or your houses, and maybe now and again, you say hello to somebody, be nice to somebody, and see how you're going to metamorphosis a new reality. It's actually more of a manifestation now, but how that will actually work for you. But remember, think of yourself like a caterpillar, change it into a butterfly, and then you'll get the idea. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.